Christmas presents. Christmas presents. So we've got this time of year, which is a pretty amazing time. How many people think so? Pretty much, yeah. How many people really think that this truly is a magical time of year? How many? Yeah, I mean, to me, I think about Christmas and, where my brain first goes, of course, is there, right? I don't know about you guys, but when I think about Christmas, I think about the times when I was a little child, and I can literally remember a time when I was sitting there, and it was, probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was convinced, absolutely without a doubt, that I just heard Santa come down the chimney. I literally felt it, I believed it, and I was like, oh my God! Anybody been there? Do you guys remember that moment when you're sitting there, you're ready to open up the Christmas presents, and it's just like, let us come down. Of course, that was like at 4:30 in the morning, and our parents are like, what are they doing? Right? And then as you grow up and you become a parent, then you get it, right? Don't we? We kind of get it? Yeah. So for Christmas, for me, what's happened is, as I began my spiritual journey, as I started to wake up, I'll never forget this one moment when I was sitting at Unity of Livonia, and it was a Christmas Eve service, and we were singing Silent Night. And the candles were lit, and the congregation was singing the song, and all of a sudden, I could not stop sobbing. I could not stop. It literally grabbed me, and this thing hit me that was so hard, and I couldn't explain it. I didn't understand it at the moment. All I knew is I just sat there. And then what happened is, over time, is that I started putting it together, and I realized this amazing blessing that happened in that moment, and it's something that I've been experiencing every single Christmas season since, but in a different way. So here's the thing. I still love Christmas. I still believe in Santa Claus. Really. Mike believes in Santa Claus. I still love the spirit of Christmas. I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the most powerful times of the year. But what I experienced that moment, and what I understood, was that this presence that we call Jesus, came down and literally sat, I would say, in me, and let me experience what it was like and what he was trying to share with everybody when he came down here. Because I don't know about you guys, but I think Jesus is pretty cool. And I think he had an amazing message, and my own studies, my own realizations, is that sometimes that message got a little bit tweaked over history, and that's being nice. But I think he actually came down here with such a beautiful message, and that's what we at Unity believe, is that we believe that Jesus is love. Unconditional, pure love. And what I feel that happened that day was that Jesus basically sat down and said, hey, let me give you a little taste of what this is really like. And it was in that moment when I was sitting there uncontrollably sobbing that it was like this energy that came through me was like, I got it. And I understood it. And I sat in that moment of unconditional love, pure love, not only for myself, but for everything that was around me. And I sat there in it, and it was it was overwhelming. And that's where the tears came in, and that's where everything came in. And so as we go through this time of season, this time of year, Advent, the Latin, it's a coming, an approach, an arrival of what? Of Jesus. And the love that he shared, and the love that he came down here to show us that we are all a part of. We're all a part of it. And so he came down here to show us that. In Unity, it says, a vast and uncharted frontier for Advent, the Advent experience, which is that which exists within. It exists within. So this thing that we're doing, it's an experience that's within. To search for the advent of Jesus Christ means to embark on an adventure of spiritual introspection. You mean it's not about the presents? You mean it's not about everything else that commercialism tries to tell us it's all about? No. It can be. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging that. Understand. But all I'm saying is we are given an amazing time to spend the next couple of weeks hanging out with a pretty cool dude that really showed us how to do it the right way in a powerful, powerful, powerful way. And one of the things that I want to share with you this morning is this isn't like all of a sudden we wake up on Christmas Day and go, oh, here it is. No, it's a process. It's a process. So what I'm going to encourage you, if you really want the full experience of Christmas and of presence of Jesus Christ, is to kind of sit back and go, oh, I get it. I can kind of work at this thing throughout the whole month. So in other words, you don't have to do it all at once. And I don't know what that looks like for you guys, but for me, of course, one of the big things is like, for example, music. I mean, I start cranking up a lot of music. I can't do the 24/7 Christmas songs. Can't go there. But I can start to listen to the music, and it starts to get me slowly into the spirit of Christmas. And there's so many other things that can start to get me into the season of Christmas, slowly. In other words, I don't do it all at once. It's not like I think like, okay, where's Christmas? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Which I've done before. But what I've noticed is if I'll just give it a chance, and actually, to me, one of the things that I do is I literally, I invite the presence of Christmas into my experience. So, part of my prayer at the beginning of the month is I invite the presence of Christmas in every single year. And guess what? It shows up. It does. It shows up. And so I'm going throughout the month, and it's not always, perfect. It's not that I don't get rushed and I don't get hurried and things happen and things come up and life's going on, right? But the thing that's amazing to me is that it always, always, always shows up every single year. And that's why I get so giddy about Christmas. That's why I love Christmas. Because, my God, how can I not love Christmas, right? So, in my opinion, in my impression, one of the things that I was given, or I was told, if you will, in that moment, way back in Unity of Livonia, is that literally I want you to imagine that Jesus comes down and he wraps his arms around the earth. He literally comes down and he puts his arms around the earth. Now, here's the thing. That intensity it's a lot, right? And so imagine all this love coming at us during that time of the year. So what does that look like? Well, for some people, we melt, we cry, we sob, we're happy, we're just like, this is amazing, right? But it's intense, and that's what I was told, is like, it can do amazing things. You can have incredible healings at this time of the year. You can see relationships transformed. You can see all kinds of amazing things happen, and you can take advantage of it. Because it's not like any time of the year. Because everybody is sitting there focused on love. Everybody is. And so therefore, the energy gets going and cranking and cranking and cranking up. It goes way up here. And some people can sit back and go, awesome, bring it. Love it. Let's have fun with it. Now, the other side of it is, and let's just get real, is that unfortunately it can also be kind of a sad time, right? So some people think about people that they've lost, and some people go through depression and all the other stuff that's there. And so, to me, it's kind of like what happens is we're standing there in this experience called Advent, in this thing that's leading up to Christmas, right? And it's like a crossroad. You're looking at it. And in my mind, what's happening is I've got a decision to make. And the decision I'm sitting there trying to figure out is, okay, am I going to go with this thing? Am I going to accept all this love? And am I going to be worthy to receive it all? And am I going to give myself the opportunity to heal? Am I going to have this incredible experience with Jesus? Pretty cool. Or not. Or not. There's no judgment, guys. It's not like anybody's sitting there. In my mind, either's Jesus. Because Jesus is just sitting there going, hey, I'm here. I'm here. Like, you want to come along for this ride? Join me. You can do it at any time. But so that's what it kind of like it feels like to me, and that's why you see all these amazing stories and amazing blessings and things that happen during Christmas. And unfortunately, yes, there's the other side as well. Right? So that's kind of what's going on, and that's just kind of something to think about. And of course, yeah, how many people kind of go there sometimes, right? The holiday stress. So it was interesting. One of the things that has happened to us is, I'll never forget, it happened about 2 or 3 years ago. So Leah and I we had a big day planned for Christmas. So we've got to go see my family in Detroit, and then we've got her family down in Monroe, and then we wanted to get back because Christmas Eve for us is a very magical time of the year, and so we had to get back to Christmas Eve to go to the Christmas service, and then of course afterwards we love to go look at all the Christmas lights, and then we like to go see the luminaries in East Grand Rapids, and it's a like literally one of my favorite things on the planet to do. But there was one little thing that I didn't take into consideration, and that was just how much stress that I put on ourselves to make us go to Wixom, and then we go to Monroe, and then we drive home, and by gosh, by golly, we're going to get it all done, right? And then we check the box. Did we do everything? Yeah. But why do I feel so bleh? Right? How many people have been there? Like all these responsibilities, everything that we've got to do, that we think we have to do to make everybody happy, to get it all in. And what I realized was like, no more. Because what I was missing was this. I was missing the connection. I was missing the time, the really good time. Instead of sitting there being present with my family, I'm sitting there worried about where's the next place we got to go, and I'm not being present. And I'm just completely go, and I'm forgetting to stop for a minute and actually receive all the love and everything that's going on. I'm forgetting to do it. And so we made a decision, no more. Christmas Eve is our time. And it's going to be magical every single year. And so since then, we make it pretty magical. And it's amazing. And what I'm saying is, you can do the same thing. You can do the exact same thing. Another thing that Leah did, which I thought was really interesting, is when we first met, she had 30 or 40 friends that she would buy presents for every single year. Not only did she buy them, she would go deliver them. Every single one of them. And she did the most amazing thing. And by the way, I meant to say this. She's not here this morning. She all of a sudden woke up and she couldn't talk. And she was so bummed because she loves Christmas. She loves it like I do. And she just wanted to say hi and let everybody know she was bummed. But she sent an email to her friends, and it went something like this. She just said, I love you. I want you to have the most amazing Christmas ever, but I can't do this anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a donation to charity. I'm going to include your name, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Do you know how many emails she got back saying thank you? Thank you for doing that. Enough is enough. Thank you. And not only did people send her an email back and say thank you, they started doing the same thing. They started doing the same thing because it's like, when does enough come enough? When do you actually stop for a minute and say, this is my Christmas. I get to have it the way that I want it. I get to create it the way that I want to experience it. And then you get to stop for a minute. You get to think about that for a minute. And you get to create it the way that you want to create it. Right? So here's what I want to do. I'm going to have everybody get quiet again for just a few minutes. I want you to close your eyes. And I just want you to think about the season coming up, this amazing season. And I want you to ask yourself this simple question. What do I want? How do I want this experience to look like? How do I want it to feel? Who do I want to spend it with? Where do I want to go? Where do I not want to go? What would be the most special, important, amazing thing for me to have this Christmas season? What does it look like? I want you to feel it, and now bring in the rest of the senses. See it, touch it, smell it, taste it. Paint yourself there. Give yourself permission to have what you want this Christmas season. Put yourself in that space. And then when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes again and start to come back. So we have a chance here, we have an opportunity to do something that's amazing and special. And what I'm just going to tell you is that the energy that's coming up for us at this time of the year is really the thing that I think that everything that we're up to when we come together and we talk about being a family and we talk about this love thing that's going on, I think that's what everything is that we're trying to experience. But for some reason we just get sucked up into it, right? It's like, oh, I got to get all these gifts, I got to do this, I got to do that. When if we could just stop and think about it for a minute and just say, no, what do I want? What do I want this Christmas season? And then what if it could just be like the most magical, incredible time of year for you? What would that look like? But we don't do that. We don't stop for a minute. And so what my hope and prayer for you is that you actually stop for a minute and you pause and you think about what that would look like for you, for your family, for your friends, for your loved one. And then I want you to imagine this amazing thing, this amazing being called Jesus with you, going, yeah, we can do this. We can do it. We can go out there and have a really, really, really good time. And how magical the Christmas season would be. So as you go forward, just think of these couple thoughts. What is it that you're wanting? Think about this. What do I have to take off my plate? What could I do just to take off a few things? Maybe it's a couple trips, maybe it's a couple of this, couple of that. What do I need to take off my plate? Or better yet, what do I need to put on my plate? I don't know. It'd be fun to hear some of your Christmas traditions, but I'm a big fan of Christmas traditions. Maybe there's some traditions you want to create. Maybe there's some new ones. Maybe there's some you want to get rid of, right? So as you go forward this season, a couple of things just to wrap things up is to remember this idea of the spirit of Christmas, the presence of Christmas is all and everything to do about this time that you get to spend with, imagine Jesus wrapping his arms around the planet. And imagine us having, maybe for the first time ever, the ability to accept all of that, to receive it. Because then not only do we get to receive it, but then guess what? We get to give it. Isn't that pretty amazing? When you're able to give love, like I mean on a big level. Isn't that pretty incredible? So, anyways, as you go forward for the rest of the month, I just ask you to consider those things. Consider that you're going to be walking through this process. Consider another thing, you can't get this thing wrong, impossible. Consider that you may do it really good at some times, you may not do it so good at other times. Consider that it's all perfect. That it's all perfect. That you're perfect. You're whole. You're complete. You really are. We've really got this. Have a phenomenal season. Christmas season, you guys. It's really, really, my hope and prayer for everybody in this room is to get to experiences on a really deep level. My hope and prayer is that each and every one of you come up to me and say, Mike, there was this moment that happened, this one little moment where I didn't quite understand it. I was sitting there and all of a sudden it was like, and Jesus showed up. And here's the thing. You won't need to tell me anything. You won't need to explain it to anybody. You won't need to do anything. But if you open up the potential for that to be able to happen, what I'm going to tell you is that it will happen. And you won't need to tell anybody a word. You're just going to be sitting there and you're just going to be like, he was right. He showed up. That kind of potential exists. In my mind, it exists every day, but in this holiday season, I think the energy is just so massive. It's just incredible. And so, play with it. Have fun with it. Don't get too heavy with it, guys. Seriously, sometimes we get too heavy with the stuff, all the stuff that we're playing with, and it's like, just do it lightly, lovingly, but wait for it to happen. And I promise you, it will. And then you're going to come and whisper it in my ear and tell me your story, because I want to hear your stories. Right? Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas.